Governor Anies Baswedan tests positive for COVID-19. Coal mining issuer Bayan Resources keeps optimistic to achieve this year's target. Good afternoon, viewers in Indonesia and Singapore. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of informations from business, economic, and capital market sectors with me, Clara Antawijaya, and this is Market Headlines. And yes, viewers, Jakarta Governor Anies Baswedan confirmed that he has tested positive for coronavirus, following report that his deputy was also infected by the virus.
Jakarta Governor Anies Baswedan confirmed that he has tested positive for coronavirus, following report that his deputy was also infected by the virus. Anies said he underwent a PCR test on Monday, and the result came back positive this morning. He took the test a day after Deputy Governor Ahmad Riza Patria announced he had contracted the highly contagious disease. In his official statement, Anies claimed that he didn't develop any symptoms. He added he will not quarantine at home, but at a separate place where he will stay long.
Bagi siapapun yang pernah bertemu saya dalam beberapa hari ini, silahkan langsung menghubungi puskesmas terdekat untuk menjalani tes usap. Dan tim tracing dari Dinkes juga akan mendata, akan dicatat semua, akan dihubungi semua kontak erat, dan seluruh prosedur terkait akan dijalankan. Dan setelah konsultasi dengan dokter dan sesuai dengan arahannya, saya akan menjalani isolasi mandiri dan mengikuti prosedur pengobatan yang ditetapkan oleh tim medis. Memimpin rapat-rapat secara virtual. Dan memang sejak bulan Maret yang lalu kita sudah terbiasa bekerja secara virtual, dan insya Allah tidak akan ada gangguan di dalam proses pengambilan keputusan.
Meantime, the governor and deputy office are temporarily closed for disinfection works. From all sources, for IDX Channel.
Agency's governing body downstream oil and gas keeps adding more distributors to distribute one-price gasoline in frontier, outmost, and least developed regions. And currently there are 15 new distributors. New distributors are spreaded in West Papua, North Maluku, East Nusa Tenggara, West Nusa Tenggara, Maluku, Bengkulu to East Kalimantan. With the additions of 15 new distributors, now one-price gasoline has reached 209 points. Still, there is target to catch, which is 500 points in 2024. Head of agency's governing body downstream oil and gas, Fansrulullah Asa, stated that the new distributors in frontier, outermost, and least developed regions can increase economic growth because the burden of the people who buy gasoline at high prices have been resolved. And for that, the government continues to increase distribution points for one-price gasoline, even though it is faced with a number of problems that exist, ranging from inadequate infrastructure problems such as road access and difficulty in terrain, security factors, to local government licensing problem or bureaucracy. Jakarta, Adi Firmansyah for IDX Channel. The construction of Patimban Seaport in West Java Subang District is scheduled to be completed in near time, and the Ministry of Transportation will try out the seaport by this Thursday. The Ministry of Transportation will test Patimban Seaport in West Java Subang District on next Thursday, while testing for container terminals will be carried out in February 2021. Minister of Transportation Budi Karya Sumadi said that the target of completing the entire development of Patimban is planned by 2027. Various kinds of readiness to pursue the completion target are also expected to be pursued properly, starting from electricity, water infrastructure, to competent human resources.
Untuk membuat satu pelabuhan sekelas 7 juta, ini satu effort yang tidak mudah. Artinya apa? Artinya jalan menuju ke sana harus kita persiapkan dengan baik. Infrastruktur seperti listrik, air harus kita sediakan dengan baik. Bahkan lebih penting dari itu, sumber daya manusianya juga harus dilakukan dengan baik.
Meanwhile, the constructions of port access road and ramp on and off of the access road has also been 99% completed. Jakarta, Riki Anwardi for IDX Channel. Moving on to the next coverage, human resources development and food security management must be improved along with the technological advances. And the Ministry of Agriculture explained that currently the ministry is encouraging the technology utilizations in agricultural production.
The difficulty of increasing agricultural production due to various factors such as weather must be improved by utilizing technology. Minister of Agriculture Syahrul Yassin Limpo hopes that the curriculum related to agricultural innovation and technology in schools and colleges can be applied as new approach in the world of agriculture. According to Syahrul, the demographic bonus that will be obtained by Indonesia must be able to be utilized with agricultural technology intervention, both in agricultural schools and in universities. For this, the Ministry of Agriculture plans to strengthen cooperation in the education sector to develop production through technology.
Oleh karena itu, kita udah punya SDM, kita udah punya manusianya yang harus kita intervensi ke depan dan pikirkan secara bersama. Tidak hanya Kementerian Pertanian, adalah bagaimana menerapkan sains, riset, dan teknologi yang lebih tepat. Artinya, kualitas intervensi di teknologi menjadi penting. Tidak bisa lagi kita abaikan dengan climate change dan ketiba-tibaan dari cuaca yang ada itu. Kita bisa mengandalkan air terus-terus datang dari langit aja. Kita butuh intervensi-intervensi, katakanlah artificial intelligence.
The minister explained that technology in agriculture cannot be ignored because this sector is the backbone of the economy in the midst of a pandemic like today, so that production should not longer rely on weather forecasts but also be assisted by the application of technology in agriculture. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
And yes, viewers, market headlines will be right back with the news coverage regarding coffee productions. Stay tuned.
Baik saja tidak cukup, kita harus betul-betul memahami lingkungan bisnis global yang lebih baik, plus di dalam negerinya sosiologi dan antropologi supaya totalitas kita membantu petani secara efektif.
Kita memang ketahanan pangan, tetapi kita menuju ke kedaulatan pangan.
Ada shadow power yang mendikte pembangunan sektor pertanian bukan oleh Kementerian Pertanian.
Ya halo pemirsa, nama saya Mangi Teracong. Saat ini saya menjabat sebagai presenter dan juga associate producer. Saat ini saya membawakan program IDX Conversation Closing, di mana di program tersebut saya menganalisa isu-isu ekonomi yang menarik, baik dari luar negeri maupun juga dari dalam negeri. Tentunya hingga saat ini saya masih terus belajar dan saya sangat menikmati profesi tersebut.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. And after experiencing pressure due to COVID-19 pandemic, coffee consumption continues to increase. Even the demand is projected to return to its normal positions in 2021. And regarding this, industry players are preparing to increase manufacturing capacity in order to meet the growing domestic coffee demand.
After experiencing pressure due to the COVID-19 pandemic, coffee consumption continues to increase. Even demand is projected to return to its normal position in 2021. Regarding this, industry players are preparing to increase manufacturing capacity so that coffee consumption growth can be met from domestic products. Moreover, with the presence of vaccines and the absence of large-scale social restrictions, the trend of coffee consumption in the country, which has continued to increase over the past 5 years, will continue to grow. The Indonesian Coffee Exporters and Industry Association noted that demand for processed coffee in the third quarter of 2020 was at 0% or stagnant. The head of the IDX Specialty Coffee and Industry Division, Mulyono Susilo, hopes that demand for processed coffee in the fourth quarter of 2020 will return to its pre-pandemic position. Unfortunately, the growth in domestic coffee consumption has not been followed by the availability of raw materials, even though the manufacturers have started to expand. Throughout 2020, the volume of processed coffee production is expected to decrease by 5 to 10% annually. Meanwhile, the volume production in 2021 is projected to only grow by around 4.22%. From all sources, for IDX Channel.
In the midst of a difficult pandemic situations for industry and business, recovery and improvement are slowly starting to appear. One of them is the domestic coffee industry, which is still be able to survive in line with the level of domestic consumption. So, how is the actual performance of the domestic coffee industry so far? So let's talk about it with the following infographics. Yes, through your screen, we're going to see the first graphic, and it is regarding top 5 coffee producer based on the provinces that is separated from 2017 to 2020. Here it is. We can see we got South Sumatra as the winner, and then still from Sumatra we got Lampung, and North Sumatra, Aceh, and East Java. So we can determine that Sumatra is really well known for its coffee productions. Let's take a look at South Sumatra first. Here it is in 2017. The province can produce 184,000 tons in 2017, but however in 2019 the number went up significantly to be 196,016 tons. Can you imagine? One province in Indonesia can produce those large number of coffee and export it worldwide. And then it's still from Sumatra, we got Lampung, and revealed that Indonesia is the 4th largest Brazil, Colombia, with average productions of 700,000 tons per year. And whereas Indonesia in 2019, the productions reached 729,100 tons. But however, the number of things is still pose obstacles to the productions of Indonesians coffee beans, including the limited land and low productivity. And we hope that these obstacles will remain the concern of the stakeholders. So viewers, from the production side, what about the level of the domestic coffee consumptions? Let's see it's in the next graphic. Here it is, through the next graphic, we can see Indonesia's coffee consumptions. We can see in 2014 until 2019, the trend is increasingly significant. While in 2014 up to 2015, the number is in 4,417 bags. Well, in the terms of bags, we can assess that 60 kilograms per bag. And then when moving on to 2018 to 2019, the number increased significantly to be 4,800 bags, and we can multiply it by 60 kilograms. And meantime, regarding the consumptions, The trend of coffee consumptions in Indonesia which has continued to increase over the past 5 years, will continue to grow. And in the other hand, regarding the demand, Indonesia's coffee exporters and industry associations noted that the demand for processed coffee in the third quarter of 2020, or we can say it's amidst the pandemic, was at 0% or stagnant. And the associations hopes that the demand for processed coffee in the fourth quarter of 2020 will return to its pre-pandemic position. But however, along with the improvement of the demand for coffee, especially in the processed coffee, how big is the estimated volume of the processed coffee productions in 2020 and its projections as well in 2021? So let's check it into the next graphic. Here it is through the next graphic. You can see through your screen the estimations of processed coffee productions. So let's take a look in 2020. The number, or we can say it in the volume, is in 350,000 to 360,000. It is still the projection from Indonesia's coffee exporter and industry associations. And meanwhile, for the growth in 2020, it is predicted to reach a 5% until a 10% growth. But however, in 2021, it is predicted that the volume will expand even a little bit to 360,000 up to 380,000. We can see such optimism was delivered by the Indonesian's coffee exporters and industry associations with the growth of 5.21%. And Indonesia coffee exporters and industry associations that the needs of coffee will continue to increase to 2023, and the coffee manufacturers are ready to face this increase in demand. And it is estimated that in 2023 to 2025, coffee powder consumptions will double, or around 640,000 tons per year, while the installed capacity of the national coffee milling industry is only around 400,000 tons. So roughly, it is estimated that there could be a production deficit. And this is what the processed coffee manufacturing must pursue. And so, as the fourth largest coffee producing country, how big is the contributions of the coffee exports to Indonesia's trade balance? So let's go to the next graphic. Here it is. You can see through your screen trade balance of Indonesia's processed coffee products. Here it is. We can see in 2019, the Ministry of Industry recorded that the export value of coffee was really big by 610 million US dollar. And then when moving on to the export growth, 2019, coffee export grew by 5.33% as on the year-on-year. Well, if we talk it specifically to this year in 2020, January to June, it posted 211 million US dollar surplus only from the coffee production itself in Indonesia. And then the exports are dominated by instant coffee products, which are spread into Southeast Asia, China, and United States of Arab. And yes, viewers, with these positive contributions, the Ministry of Industry ensures that it remains active increasing the competitiveness of the national processed coffee industry. And one of the ways by increasing the capacity of human resources, such as baristas, roasters, and copper. And the Minister of Industry is confident that Indonesia will continue to be a major exporter for the processed coffee products. In addition, Indonesia, which was previously known only as a coffee producer, is now also known as a coffee consuming country. So it is hoped that the domestic and foreign coffee demand will continue to have positive impact on the national coffee industry. And yes, so viewers, hopefully the domestic coffee industry will be able to continue its recovery and will continue its positive contributions to the national economy. And yes, stay with us because market headlines will be right back after this quick break.
Pembahasan pasal demi pasal Omnibus Law RUU Cipta Kerja menimbulkan berbagai polemik.
Nolak RUU Omnibus Law, khususnya klaster ketenagakerjaan yang kami anggap mendegradasi hak-hak pekerja Indonesia.
BPS mengumumkan
jadi deflasi di bulan September.
Tapi di sisi lain, hampir seluruh sektor produktif ini mengalami pertumbuhan yang minus, maka perbankan pasti akan mengalami kesulitan untuk menyalurkan pembiayaan.
Senang sekali saya David San Oval dan dapat hadir menemani Anda dalam program spesial dialog webinar on TV.
Setiap minggunya kita akan membahas tema-tema yang sangat menarik. Apa kabar ibu-ibu sekalian?
Alhamdulillah baik.
Salah satu ambisi daripada Kementerian Koperasi dan UMKM bersama Spesco adalah koperasi keren, baru, digital gitu kan, yang kita bisa IT.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. So viewers, let's take a look at today's capital market conditions and starting from the GCI movement. So earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 5,702.92 and then approaching the closing time, the first session. Here it is, the index was on the level of 5,661. And then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time as the index was closed at the level of 5,724.74. And in short, JCI went up 2%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got Miss Industry as leader of the strengthening trend that went up 3.42%. We got Finance that went up 2.88%. And Basic Industry that went up 2.86%. And Manufacturer that went up 1.99%. And then moving on to the top gainers and the top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. We got BBRI that went up 3.67%, and we got BBCA that went up 3.06%. And then we got Astra International that went up 4.72%, and still from the banking issuer, BBNI went up 4.17%. And here it is, meantime, the top losers for today's trading. We got TOWR that went down 3.65%. We got MDKA that went down 4.12%. We got NATO that went down 3.85%. And we got Pura that went down 3.6%. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah opened at the level of 14,178, and rupiah also showing weakening trend towards US dollar and was closed at the level of 14,133. In summary, rupiah went down 0.2%. And as viewers, as there are many good sentiments regarding coal mining increasing demand, coal mining issuer Bayan Resources keeps optimistic to achieve this year's target. And the company estimates that it will sell 30 to 31 million coal of 2020.
Not only that, the company predicts it will sell 30 million to 31 million tons of coal by the end of 2020. But the company also predicts that coal productions will reach 26 million tons by this year. Bayan Resources Director of Corporate Affairs and Corporate Secretary Jenny Cuantero said that with this target, the company is projecting to generate revenues of $1.2 billion. Such optimism is gained by seeing that there are many good sentiments regarding coal mining increasing demand. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Sad news come from the retail industry as Matahari department store will again close a number of its outlets in several locations towards the end of 2020. The company also ensured that it will not open new outlets for the fourth quarter of 2020 and the first quarter of 2021.
Matahari department store will again close a number of its outlets in several locations towards the end of 2020. Referring to the disclosure of information, Matahari department store management stated that as many as 6 outlets are planned to be closed until the end of 2020. In details, 4 outlets are in Java Island, 1 in Bali, and 1 in Sulawesi. Thus, the number of company outlets that will operate by the end of 2020 is 147 from the previous 153. In addition, the company's management also ensures that it will not open new outlets in the fourth quarter of 2020 and the first quarter of 2021. On the other hand, the company will continue to communicate with shopping center managers or landowners in order to obtain lower rental costs. Meanwhile, related to financial performance, until the third quarter of 2020, Matahari department store recorded a decrease in revenue of up to 57.6% until September 2020. The company has also closed 7 large format outlets and closed all specialty outlets. From all sources, for IDX Channel.
And yes, viewers, while hospitals across the country have worked so hard to provide care concerning the COVID-19 pandemic, Indonesian Red Cross invites to the public to continue to donate blood.
Many questions linger during pandemic. Is it safe to donate blood during COVID-19 pandemic? And the head of Jakarta's Indonesian Red Cross, Linda Lukitarewasaso, has the answer. People don't have to worry about donating blood during the COVID-19 pandemic. Indonesia's Red Cross established strict health protocols in the implementations of blood donations. Masking, social distancing, and enhanced cleaning protocols have been put in place to help keep both donor, site staff, and blood donors are safe. All of these protocols apply to blood donations activities, whether at home, on cars, or in the Red Cross 224 blood donations units.
Dari Palang Merah Indonesia itu mengeluarkan protokol-protokol kesehatan. Protokol-protokol kesehatan itu tidak hanya bagi kami, bagi yang melaksanakan, tapi juga bagi para calon pendonor. Baik yang datang di tempat kami di unit donor darah Palang Merah Indonesia itu mempunyai 224 unit di seluruh Indonesia dan protokol itu berlaku untuk keseluruhannya.
This protocol should be sufficient to answer public concerns about coronavirus contaminations. She also said that until now there was no data on the transmissions of COVID-19 through blood transfusions. From Jakarta, Olga from IDX Channel.
Step aside from the market conditions as coronavirus pandemic takes a big role on current economic situations. Here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. Let's look at market headlines today. Close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. And before saying goodbye, I would like to remind you of what Mom said. Please do comply with health protocol by using mask, physical distancing, and avoiding crowd. Also washing your hand often with soap through overflowing water. I'm Clara Antawijaya. Have a nice evening and stay safe.